Hello everyone, and welcome to today's BAS and CMMS integration webinar. I'd like to start off with introducing you to our, today's presenter is Harry Kohal. He is the Vice President of Business Development at Eagle Technology. Harry has been part of the Eagle team since 2006. He has a strong information technology and security background within healthcare, manufacturing, and service industries. Harry also holds a bachelor's degree in business as well as a Master of Liberal Studies from University of Wisconsin. Just a reminder, we're recording this webinar, so you are able to share it and view it afterwards. You'll receive an email as soon as the webinar is completed with the link that will direct you to the recording. A few things that we will be discussing or touching is Eagle's view of early stages of planning CMMS and BAS integration, the process of linking BAS and CMMS, a demonstration of CMMS and BAS integration, covering benefits of the integration, and then if we do have enough time, we're going to cover some questions. If you do have questions, please feel free to use your screen, your comment box from webinar, and ask those questions. Any questions we do not get to, we will make sure we get in touch with you to answer those questions directly. So again, for those of you who have just joined us, welcome, and I am going to hand you over to Harry now, who will start with the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara, and good morning, everyone, or good evening, wherever you may be. Eagle is a global company, and we've been working with building automation vendors for over 15 years. So you might ask yourself, what does CMMS and building automation have to do with each other? My building automation system notifies me when there's a problem, and I can react to it. Well, yes, that's very true. But one of the things that it doesn't do is collect information for you. It doesn't collect information on how frequently and what costs are associated with the problems. It doesn't give you data that you can quickly analyze and summarize the cost of maintenance associated with any of the devices collected to your building automation system. By integrating your maintenance software with the building automation system, you can collect data accurately, timely, and at no expense at all. We can collect data through the variety of sensors placed through the building automation system. When an anomaly occurs or a runtime situation occurs, we're going to be able to trigger a work order or an event notification, if you prefer to call it that, that will go either to the contractor that's involved in maintaining the building automation system and or to the local maintenance team that can perhaps execute steps to investigate prior to having the HVAC contractor roll a truck. The problem with building automation systems is it doesn't necessarily tell the uneducated person what to do. And by mapping a sensor object out of state condition to an action, we actually can give solid instructions to the local team as to what steps to take to correct the action, or what steps to investigate to correct the action. Sometimes these anomalies occur, you're notified on your building automation system console, and sometimes they're ignored. Or sometimes they get reset and nothing happens, and then there's no record of it. Well, today, integrating to your maintenance system, if an anomaly occurs or an out-of-state condition or a runtime condition, we're going to trigger a work order that will remain open until somebody does something and records the cost or the issue related to that and what should or should not be done based on the particular condition. The recording of these out-of-state conditions allows advanced investigation prior to actual total equipment failure, so that even if we have a sensor object that is creating problems, those will be recorded and we can investigate and replace the sensor, which may be the source of the issue, giving us better quality information as we go along then related to the particular HVAC or building automation connected pieces of equipment. One of the things we're also going to show you today is not only CMMS, but our standalone or integrated energy monitoring capabilities. So Eagle has an energy monitoring component that allows you to tie in your building automation system and your meters directly. So if your meters are BACnet compliant or they go into your building automation system, you have the ability to collect energy data in real time in a very cost-effective way. We know there's other competitors out there. We know they're very expensive in some cases, and we think we have a product that can meet your needs without an exorbitant expense. So we'll show you that today too. So right now, how do I integrate my building automation system with my CMMS? So here's the login screen for our maintenance software. And typical maintenance software, we have assets, and we can have multiple facilities. We can have different types of facilities. So whether you're a factory complex or you're an office complex with a real tall skyscraper, okay, our system accommodates all types of assets. And those assets, whether they're located in your office park or they're located in an embassy building somewhere in Washington, D.C., or in Toronto or wherever, Montreal, or whether you're running a municipality and you've got building automation control systems in all of your buildings, okay? Eagle can address multiple facilities, multiple buildings, multiple subnets linking our building automation system. We have a listening object that sits on the actual BACnet network, and we tie that building automation driver via web over IP or BACnet over IP to our software in the cloud. Once we do that, we have the ability to do discovery on the network and look at objects wherever they may be, whether they're analog, binary input, binary output, or device-driven, okay? We can map specific sensor objects to specific actions. So let's go back to our PowerPoint here. And sorry here, we'll bring this one up. The process allows us to take building automation, and whether it's Honeywell, and we work a lot with Honeywell and Tritium, Trane, Johnson Controls, building automation systems, we can take runtime information or a specific condition based on a sensor object, bring it into our software. That information then is captured and tied to a work order, which gets tied to a technician or to the particular service organization that is involved with maintaining the building automation equipment. Once the situation is resolved, the work order is completed and closed, and we gather information on what parts are used, what was the failure, what time did it occur, what did it take to fix it, how much time, and what effect did it have on the overall organization. So no matter whether you're an office building, or you're a municipality, or you're an airport, or no matter what kind of facility you are, that you have different reasons for making sure your equipment is up and running. One of the obvious, if you're a public building, is that you want your people to be comfortable, you want them to be safe, you want the air quality to be good, and all of those things can be censored and monitored in real time via our maintenance software and the building automation control systems. So going back to our software, this mapping of the network objects gets put into a master work order. And not all objects, obviously, in the network are going to be mapped to work orders. So you may have thousands and thousands of objects in your buildings, but only maybe 150 or 200 objects are mapped, or maybe there's 500. The system is very flexible and allows you to start slow, map critical items first, and then as you advance, you can add additional work order masters based on sensor objects. We've worked with a lot of organizations throughout the world, integrating their building automation systems with our maintenance software. Again, if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to include them, and we'll try and answer them at the end. The purpose of a maintenance system is to record and capture data to help maintain the life cycle of assets. And by doing that, we can track parts usage, we can track the people and the costs associated with the people that are involved in maintaining the facilities, and we can also track contractor time and costs and so forth. And in doing that, you get a comprehensive view of what happens when your facility works well versus when it doesn't work well. And it's in dollars and cents as well as frequency. We have a lot of key performance indicators in our system to track things that are important to you. And these key performance indicators can be customized and are specific to your particular organization. If you don't have a purchasing system, we can integrate with purchasing. In our system, we can create requisitions and purchase orders and receive parts and so forth. And we have clients that use this for things that have nothing to do with maintenance. They're buying items to, like coffee for the employees, and they're buying a lot of different things, pencils, erasers, office supplies, and all of those things can be bought and tracked through our system, as well as parts that are used for maintenance. So if you need to stock filters and belts and things like that at your facility, you can set minimum and maximums and track exactly how many do I have on hand and when should I reorder and so forth. There are lots of reports in our system, okay, and we can put custom reports in place for your organization. And in doing so, we allow you to analyze data in many, many different ways. We have a service request capability, and when service requests come in, and this can be, you know, a hot cold call, it can be an issue, a light is out, anything related to the facility or the equipment in the facility can come in through a service request. And the people who can put service requests in do not have to log into our system. We simply give them a portal or a URL to go to, and we customize the view that they see through the administrative panel and allow them to put the information in for you so that it's captured, date and time stamped, and allows you to execute and respond to the different types of building issues. And of course, if there's an emergency, we will be sure to educate them that if there's a pipe broke or something, don't use the service request, call maintenance right away. The work orders and work order masters, so if you want to set up preventive maintenance that needs to be done without BAS integration, you can do that in our system, of course. You can define different tasks and look at labor load balancing so that no specific technician has more work than this particular day would allow. You can put all of your company information in place. You can identify different cost centers, different work types, and the key performance indicators then will give you cost center information by work type and so forth. The system itself is set up so that we can control security down to the field level based on user roles and rights. And when we say customize, the administrator of the system has the ability to go in and change names in data fields. So for example, if I don't like the term assets, I've changed equipment name. Our default was asset name. We've changed it to equipment name. And if I want to change asset number to equipment number, I can do that just by saving this. And I also can decide who gets to see this information in the system. So based on specific roles, I have a view-only role. I have a water park administrator in this case. A mobile user doesn't get to see this information. So again, the system is extremely configurable, extremely secure in a web environment. Now, I told you we have a freestanding energy module, and I'm going to go and show you that. So I can have BACnet integrated or manually inputted data from anywhere in the country. And let me just select one of my locations here. Whoops, I timed out. And when I log in to see that information, I can focus on my Energy Analytics Plus program here. So I've got specific facility areas that are being monitored in my building. These equate these to specific meters in your building. And through BACnet, I'm reading these in real time. Okay, so this is my daily energy consumption, my monthly energy consumption. I've got a monthly trend. And as I go to each of these points, it gives me information. And I can focus on a specific meter, okay, and a specific point in time on that meter. I can look at monthly peak demand. I can look at my monthly energy intensity. And all of this, again, is being fed by my energy meters through BACnet. And whether they go through my CMMS or not is, I can do it either way. I've got reports, I've got data shrinks, and I can look at weather-adjusted energy consumption. We pull in energy data combined with weather. I can look at yearly energy intensity. And again, for those of you who are doing this type of thing in a spreadsheet, our system offers a much better way to bring that data in via BACnet. Again, going back to the integration of CMMS and building automation, what we're looking to identify is the reduction of maintenance costs, okay? We do that by helping to predict equipment failures prior to catastrophic failures. So I can trend my building equipment. One of the things that we have the capability to provide within here is the ability to add inspections where I can take amperage and voltage and kW readings and so forth off of equipment. So if I have generators or if I have specific equipment that I'm doing inspections on, that inspection data can be captured in our software and trended. We want to reduce the cost of maintenance and the downtime associated with maintenance by having parts delivered and having them available, okay? We want to reduce the need to expedite parts by being able to control what do we have in stock versus what should we have in stock. And we also want to be able to reduce the parts that you are keeping. If you don't know usage history, there's a tendency to overstock versus keep the right level of parts in place. We also want to increase uptime of equipment, okay? And how do we do that? Well, by having data and getting to predictive maintenance, we can predict failures prior to them occurring based on data that we collect in our maintenance software. We want to reduce failures by improving overall maintenance. If I don't get to preventive maintenance and my system breaks down, whose fault is that? All too many times we find that maintenance wasn't performed in a timely manner, causing a disruption of our services, whether it be air conditioning or lighting or whatever might have problems. It's done and because we're sort of doing things hodgepodge. So by combining maintenance software with our CMMS product, Proteus MMX, with building automation, we're tying together data for better management and better analysis of what is happening, when it is happening, and why is it happening. And then we're collecting data on costs associated with the event. We're collecting data on mean time between failures. We're collecting data on mean time to repair. And we're collecting information on the cost of the technicians or contractors doing the work in your facility. We all know today it's not enough to say, I think something should be replaced versus repairing. Our CFOs want data. And the combination of Proteus MMX and energy monitoring and building automation control interfaces are going to give us a significant amount of data to turn around to the CFO and senior management and say, this is why we need to do X, Y, Z. Proteus MMX is a flexible tool. It's web-based. We integrate not only to building automation, but we integrate to products like Sky Foundry for building analytics. We integrate to products like DG Lux and their products for building graphics. We integrate to Navis, NAVVIS, which you can laser scan and photo scan your building and have a complete overlay and walk through on your smartphone or tablet, touch an object and bring up a work order, see the history on a specific asset, be able to see the runtime on an asset. So Eagle's leading the way from a technology and integration standpoint, allowing you to collect data, connect in a lot of different ways, and bring together information for smart buildings. At this point in time, I'm going to look and see if there's any questions. So, Barbara, does anybody at this point in time have any questions?
So the first question is, will this presentation be downloadable somewhere? Yes, it will be. We will make it available through our webinar channel. I will make sure that everybody that's attending this webinar will receive an email, which would include the link to where you can access it if you'd like to share it. And that question was asked by Joseph. And then here's a question for you, Harry. Can you explain how you track preventive maintenance work order completed?
How do we track? Okay, the question is, how do we track work order PMs that are completed? Is that correct?
Preventive maintenance work order.
Okay. So first of all, in our system, what we do is set up work order masters, and those work order masters get scheduled. This graph right here would show me that I have 2 open work orders right now, and these are master work orders, and we can either schedule them yearly, weekly, daily, monthly, or whatever. When we schedule them, they have a certain number of days to complete, and I'll show you where that's set in our system. So I'll select the weekly one here. And based on a weekly work order, you might have, in this case, it's done every Thursday, and they have 2 days to complete it. If we have a monthly, quarterly, yearly work order, you might, for example, have 10 days to complete the work order. When we go to the home screen here, one of the things that we show is the open work orders that are overdue. Okay, and we can drill down into those open work orders that are overdue and get to the specific work orders. We can also see work orders that are completed but not closed, and we can see active work orders as well. In this case, in my demonstration system, everything's overdue, but if the work order is active but not overdue, we show that in the graph. I can filter this by facility, so that if I just want to look at my factory complex, there are no work orders there, but if I go to my park district as an example, I've got 4 work orders. So those of you who have multiple facilities that are distinct, unique, separated by geography, this system will give you a global view of all of the facilities, not only combined, if I look at all facilities, but I can drill down to specific facilities. Okay? So the system is designed, I can look at this by a specific employee that the work order might be assigned to, or I can look at it by a specific contractor as well. And then when we get to the work order detail, of course, we can drill down even further. So overdue work orders are clearly identified and are able to be tracked. I hope that answers your question. Are there any other questions?
Can you integrate the BACnet Alarms EV objects?
Yes, we can. Again, we go to PlugFest each year, and we work with all of the various product original equipment manufacturers of building automation control systems, and we do our testing, and we integrate anything BACnet at this point in time. Next question.
Can you integrate with BAS via Web Services API?
Yes, definitely we can, and we do. And we actually have several partners that we work with where we've demonstrated and set up their internal networks at their integrators, system integrators, and we've set up our system integrated to their systems so that they can show their customers how the software integrates with CMMS. And for those of you who are integrators or consultants, we're happy to work with you individually and set up demonstrations so that we can work specifically with you and your customers to show them how this works in real time.
Does the software have the ability to tie into Salesforce?
At this point in time, we have an open web services API, and we can tie our data into virtually anybody who will let us. If you have the ability to integrate to Salesforce, you know, that's something that we've not worked with Salesforce. We've worked with SAP. We've worked with any number of products at this point in time. Salesforce at this time is not one that we've worked at, but technically, yes, we could.
How is pricing based?
Pricing is based on square footage, both for the energy module and for the maintenance software.
Does the cloud-based system work with non-Proteus work order systems?
The energy monitoring system will work without Proteus, yes.
Is it cloud-based or service-based? Server-based.
Server-based. This is a cloud-based application. We do have customers that are government agencies, for example, that don't have internet going into their buildings, where we have worked with them and installed it on their internal servers. That is possible. It's more expensive, obviously. We work with hospitals. We work with, and again, we work globally. So in Canada, for example, we have one of the largest energy producers in the country using our software. We have hospitals that are using our software. We use Amazon Web Services. It's highly secured, and it is, you know, providing a significantly high level of uptime. It is a Six Sigma level of uptime to our clients.
Can you please share more about the middleware?
Okay, I think you're talking about the object that we put on the BACnet network. It's basically just a listening piece of software. It's very small. It sits right on the BACnet network. It's a read-only, listen-only, data out module. There's no data fed back to it, so it's highly secured, and it allows us to pick up in real time the particular object or condition or runtime trigger that would be tied to the work order. We're not going into the database as some products do. We actually are a licensed BACnet listening object.
Okay, I think that's all the questions we have for now. If you do have any more questions, please feel free to ask them when we do end this presentation, and we'll make sure that somebody gets in touch with you to answer those questions directly. If you have anything else that you want to discuss or you want more information, which is not a demonstration, please feel free to contact Harry at k@eaglecmms.com, or you can visit our website for more information if that could help you. Like I mentioned before, we will send an email that contains the link for this recording if you'd like to review it again.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day, and thank you for your time. Hope this was helpful.